All right, we got a Gelh 5635. There's a glare there, but you get the point. So, bought this thing kind of sight unseen, which is my bad. I shouldn't have done that. It's been a pretty good machine so far. I knew it had a hydraulic leak. Not a ton of information out there. It does have a Deutz hydraulic and oil cooled. It's a pretty neat system, really. So there's no coolant back there. It is all air cooled and hydraulic and oil cooled. Inline 4-cylinder diesel. The guy that had it before me, I'm sure he knows what he did. There's a lot. The more I get on to looking at this machine, and this is kind of the deal when you buy a used piece of equipment, you're buying somebody else's problems, but instead of, equivalent machine probably being new, maybe $40,000 to $50,000, these machines go for anywhere from 10 to 20. So I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I'm an automotive technician by trade. I'm not an equipment technician, and there is a little bit of a difference. But anybody that's worked on anything sees these fuel line repairs, and you can see, and with the cab down, it's really hard to see that. But I had noticed that, that's more like small engine fuel line is kind of what that looks like to me. This here is kind of vacuum line a little bit instead of, a fuel rated line, which maybe I can zoom in on that. Just so hopefully this helps somebody down the road. Those are not approved lines. That braided line there is really what should be on there, and that's the least of my problems at this point. You can see this hose here is kind of sweating. I knew it needed some love, and so when I negotiated with the guy, I didn't have time to drive up there, and he seemed like a pretty straight shooting guy. Maybe he didn't know, maybe he did know all the things that were wrong with it, but it's just going through hydraulic fluid like crazy. I don't know if you can see it dripping in the pan that I've got down there, but this is if you're sitting in the machine, it'd be the left side drive motor, and then that motor runs through behind this plate here, and then it drives with two, I believe, separate sets of chains. I haven't pulled all that apart yet, but I've worked on Case in the past, and that's how they operate, that they got two sets of chains. All that seems to be pretty good. I knew I've had a hydraulic leak, but within a week or two, I'm having to put, $200 worth of hydraulic fluid in it, and it leaks all the time and not under pressure. So when I bought it, I knew it needed some tires. We negotiated on that a little bit. I've put 2 on it. I got 2 more sitting over there. But the reason I want to make this video is, it needs some small things, but I'm not seeing any information. And just bear with me. I'll try not to have a terribly shaky camera as I climb under here. So this is the drive motor here, and it's running straight out. If I can get everything straight out of the center, as well as you can see, it's running very, very fast. And so the more I look, the more I see somebody JB welded, Magnum steel, 2-part epoxy, anything that they could to fill up that hole. Now I'm gonna have to get service information. Maybe there's a plug that goes in there, and this isn't gonna be a big difficult fix. I'll try and get you around. I can do it without getting oil on the camera. That's what it should look like. Now there's no plug in that one, and it's not leaking, which tells me that more than likely there's a seal or it needs rebuilt. The other part of this is all like a JB Weldon 2-part epoxy there that's caked on that drive motor. So we're gonna get it cleaned up. I'm gonna make a little bit of a series maybe out of this. I've got some parts and service manuals ordered on eBay that I'm going to get and be a little more familiar before I start tearing this apart, as well as I have a Gelh dealer close to me, and I'm going to see what parts availability is. I don't want to tear it down and then tell me that the part's obsolete or something of that nature. So I guess it's a little bit of a PSA, if you will. Careful buying sight unseen, And hopefully this one comes out and I can kind of make all this work and bring this piece of equipment back for service. But anybody out there running a Gelh, hopefully this information helps a little bit, and I'll bring you along for the ride. We'll see what happens.